Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Ocean's Pit, the little show about big things. I hope you guys are having a great day today. And we got so much lined up for you today, man. Today is Friday. It's Good Friday, ladies and gentlemen, here. And don't forget everything. We have Easter coming up on Sunday. And don't forget, happy Passover to all my Jewish friends out there. God bless. And it's great watching the show today, folks. Thank you guys so much. We have a lot to talk about today. We're the little show about big things on Monday through Friday, and a little lunchtime fun, folks. We have guests Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and we got a great show for you guys today. But before we bring up and talk about our guests and stuff, folks, let's talk about check the website TonyOceanMusic.com and give us a call at 847-769-8609. Now, first of all, folks, I want to thank you all for everybody that showed up last night to Zaza's in Lake Barrington. What a slam night. Seeing everybody up there. I want to thank Bill Saratella from Ocean's Rat Pack stopping by. Mike Restivo from Mojo's Jukebox. Thank you. It was great seeing the very talented, lovely Diva Montel and some of the guys from her band, Heart to Heartbreaker, were there. Fantastic seeing them, of course. And Patrice, Chicago, former Chicago Bear, Honey Bear from the Chicago Bears was there as always. It was fantastic. Jeff Dubray, you did a great job. So that was last night, folks. Now, couple things. Let's get right to our sponsor, folks. Yeah, you know it's important. We're talking about Ace Hardware. Ace Hardware Norwich, Ace Hardware Displays, Evergreen Park, and Warrenville. Remember, folks, they got some great deals with Ace. Buy local and shop local. They got the great Ace points. But let's not forget one thing, folks. With spring in the air, you want to remember one thing. Grill your ace off. And I'm talking about grill your ace off. That's all you have to say to get 20 bucks off any grill purchase at the Ace Hardware stores, folks. That's right. I want to grill my ace off. Very simple, folks. Raphael and Jackie do a great job. That's Ace Hardware. Remember, they've been helping neighbors before they were neighborhoods. You're watching Ocean's Pit, a little show about big things. And boy, we got a lot to talk about today. Let's don't forget tonight we'll be at Chicago Prime Steakhouse in Schaumburg. That's an 8 o'clock hit with the return of Rhino Ryan. Saturday will be at Champions in Plainfield, 8 o'clock with Rhino Ryan as well. A great Rhino Ryan weekend this weekend, folks. Now, as you can see, our studio is getting smaller and smaller because we're moving everything into the new studio, which hopefully in about another week or two we'll have that up and running, and we're excited. My wife Laura has been putting everything together to try to get that studio just right, so we're excited about that, folks. Today's guest, great Chicago guy, folks. Works his butt off, man. I tell you, for everything that he's got. Great journalist, comedian, One American News with Newsmax, and is Turning Point USA ambassador. I'm telling you, man, he's just a great guy. We're talking about the great Anthony Raimondi, also the son of my good pal Danny Raimondi from the, of course, the Main Event Band. And we're going to have him. He's going to talk about some great stuff. We're going to talk about politics. We're going to talk about life. We're going to talk about what's going on in this crazy, crazy world. And Anthony's going to be on in a very couple minutes. Now, after our gig last night at Zaza's, I've been telling you guys about the cruise. Yeah, Seventh Heaven, Mojo's Jukebox, and Tony Ocean in the Main Event Band. Remember, Mojo's in my new rock band, and the Tony Ocean, my Main Event Band. We are ready to go, folks, for the Chicago Music Cruise. That's right. Wonders of the Sea, Royal Caribbean, January 7th through January 14th. It's going to be fantastic. We're going to give you more details next week. But the deals that Richie from Seventh Heaven can get this particular 7-day cruise, it's going to be a lot of fun. Great food, great music. It's first time Tony and ourselves, of course, are going to be on the cruise with them. And, of course, Mojo's Jukebox. It's going to be, I know there's going to be another act, too, as well. But I think right now we're the first ones that we met. It was so nice to Richie to invite us to his house last night, along with Dino Manzella and everybody there, to talk about what's going on and how this cruise works and everything. So, guys, we're going to give you more details next week, January 7th to January 14th. I know you all want to join us. It's going to be right after the holidays. It's going to be cold here. You want to be warm. You want to have some fun on the water. Royal Caribbean, it's going to be fun. The Seventh Heaven Cruise, it's going to be great. So I'm very, very excited. We'll talk more about that as the days and weeks come, folks. All right. Let's not forget another sponsor. Let's get a couple sponsors out of the way because when Anthony comes on, I don't want to get interrupted on that. The way we're going to have a lot of good things to talk about. Roy McCampbell, attorney at law, folks, a statewide law practice that is client-focused and results-driven. For a great lawyer, call my buddy Roy McCampbell, 708-275-4264. Laura Ocean Solutions, that's my wife's credit card company. You know, folks, how it works when you're dealing with credit card processing. You know, Laura Solutions is the way to go. They've been increasing profits. You'll never have to shop again with Laura Ocean Solutions. How about Deutsch Power Center? They're right out of the Great Lakes, servicing the Great Lakes and construction and diesel industry for the last 100 years. My good buddy Deutsch Power Center out of Elgin, Illinois, 224-276-6550. Let's not forget Don Esteban Cigars out of Tarpon Springs, Florida. Summer, spring, it's spring and summer right around the corner, man. It's getting warmer. You're going to want to smoke those cigars, golfing, grilling, whatever the hell you're doing. Call Javier. You want the Tony Ocean special. Or ask whatever kind of cigars you smoke, 727-366-7536. And let's not forget our good buddies from Portillo's. Greatest hot dogs, greatest beefs. You got to love them. They just celebrated 60-year anniversary, 60-year birthday to Portillo's, folks. If you're a nonprofit organization looking for a fundraiser, folks, Portillo's can help you. You know, our son Joey is the marketing manager there, so please call Joe Fank at 224-636-3646 or go to jfank@portillos.com. And last but not least, on this side of the road, Trico Hair Experts recreating great hair days, folks. Carmela and Anthony out of Rosemont, Illinois, 773-999-7888. All right. It's just nuts what's going on in this crazy world. And, you know, we've been having different people. Look, I've had Dag from the Dag Show on 2 days ago talking about a lot of same things. And I noticed a lot of people that have been listening to the show. Remember, it's Monday through Friday, folks. It's dedicated to all the first responders out there. It's basically dedicated to people like you. And that's why we do this show every day, 12 o'clock, noon. And you can see it on all 5 different social media outlets. We are on the Tony Ocean Show Facebook page. We're on the Mo Carrara page, my personal page. We're on Twitter. We're on LinkedIn. We're on YouTube. And we're also now on the brand new Ocean's Pit page. Now, I'm asking all you guys to share the show. Let everybody know about the little show about big things. That's Ocean's Pit, the little show about big things. All right. So, yeah, I got Joey in the background, folks. Always protecting the house. He's trying. All right. Anyway, folks, we want to say our prayers out. We lost 2 firemen, ladies and gentlemen, in the last 2 days. Again, our prayers out to Jan Chorick and, of course, Jeremy Pelt. Our families go out to them. Prayers horrible. But you know what? It's got to be a tough job. And I mention this every day. I mean, you're a fireman. You want to grow up to be a fireman. Your father was, maybe your grandfather was, whatever it is. Or a police officer or any first responder in some way. You think about it. You know, you kiss your family goodbye. Hey, see you guys tomorrow when I get home from work. You don't know if you're coming home. You don't know. Firemen, man, it's a tough job. Cops, especially these days with the police officers. You know, back to blue, man. And that's what's very important. And you know how that is. And it's just, you just don't know, man. I just can't imagine how a wife, I'd like to get a wife of a fireman on or a policeman. Now, I know my wife had her last relationship was with a fireman. But I guess, you know, when you know that, man, it's just, I just don't understand how they do that. It's courage to do that. It takes a lot of balls. I couldn't do it. I know I couldn't do it. You're watching Ocean's Pit, little show about big things. All right, let's get right down to the nitty gritty, folks. Let's bring out my good friend, Mr. Anthony Ramonde. Anthony, how you doing, sir?
Good. How are you, Tony?
Great, buddy. First of all, thank you for being on. I know you're a busy man. Thank you so much for that.
Of course.
Anthony. All right, let's get.
What do you want to know, Tony?
Well, first of all, where were you born, buddy?
I was born in Carroll Stream, Illinois. Yeah.
Big family, obviously, big Italian family.
Huge family. My family definitely, anybody that's watching that's from the area will definitely know my family. They're involved in a lot of different things. And I think really helped shape the Italian community of Chicago and what it is today.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Anthony, I'm telling you about. It's like the community's just not. I don't know. I mean, remember at one time growing up. I mean, we were very tight. I mean,
Yeah.
everything now. I know when the grandparents die, when the parents move away, or whatever happens, families don't get together like they used to. But what was a typical day? A Sunday, Saturday. What was a typical day in your family growing up?
We were always with family. We were either barbecuing, camping, picnics, you name it. We were just always together. And you're right. I mean, as the families, progress and get older and people pass away and things happen, the dynamic changes a little bit. And we wish that we can do the things that we did when we were kids and growing up. But I mean, if we did it now, we would have to be at a banquet. We'd have to be in all three banquets at Venutis.
There you go. Right, exactly.
To have everybody in one room.
Yeah, and you know that, and you know what? I mean, Frank and the great people over there.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Great bit around. I used to work for them, singing in their lounge when they were in Villa Park before they even moved to Addison. So we're going back many years. Anthony, tell us a little bit. Now, who influenced you? I know with the journalist thing and the comedy. Where did it all come from? Someone in your family? Where did that all come from?
Well, I come from a family of entertainers by nature. I mean, we're all pretty funny just normally, but I did go to broadcasting school. Actually, I went to Illinois Media School probably about 8 years ago at this point. And I really started getting into politics, I would say, right around when Trump started running his first time. I really started to pay attention to the news. And I was a hardcore CNN watcher before all this.
That's rest in peace.
Yes. I used to watch Wolf Blitzer. I mean, I but I didn't know much about politics then. Sure. But anyway, so I opened my eyes a little bit and I started posting my videos online. And once I realized that the media school didn't like my political views, that's when I started to realize the bias. And I said, I'm just going to do my own thing. And from there, it just started to progress more and more.
But Anthony, what I don't understand, when did it change? I remember whether you're a Democrat or you were a Republican, even though they couldn't, they're different. They came together to try to make things better for the country or whatever, the city, whatever it is. Now it's been since the whole Trump thing in 2016 and then the pandemic in 2020. Why do you think the media like now, I mean, like I said, they're being told what to say, or do you believe that some of these people actually believe in what they're saying?
I think that one thing that Trump was able to do was, I don't think they really thought that just a normal citizen would be able to become president, because really, I mean, he might have been a millionaire, but that's really what he was. He was just a normal guy, right? He wasn't in politics. A lot of people don't know that he wasn't independent. He wasn't Republican or Democrat.
Right.
But I think the reason why this kind of ignited into a fire was because he started to expose the hypocrisy. He started to expose things that they didn't want people to know originally, the establishment, and I think that this stuff, Tony, has been going on for many years. Now, the beautiful thing that COVID did, see, it worked against them in one way. COVID gave people the opportunity to start becoming their own journalist, because now we worked from home. Your kids can't go to school no more. And we started researching things on our own. So when that happened and we started saying, wait a minute, this doesn't make sense. Hold on, wait, Trump was right about that. Wait, this doesn't make. That's when the wheels started turning, and people, I think, really, the media really pegs everybody against each other.
Yes.
And if I can say one thing to your viewers is, instead of watching the news, have a conversation with your neighbor. Even if it's a hard conversation, you don't agree.
Yeah.
I think you will agree, because I've been doing it in public places. I had a conversation with two women that were super liberal the other day, and they were talking about the gay issues.
Yeah.
And as a gay man, I can speak on it.
Right.
So I said, that's not true. This. I gave them the facts, and they were like, thank you so much. I didn't know any of that.
Right. until you do some research and try to find out, and like you said, talking to different people, trying to find their point of views. It's like to the point now, though. Sometimes you can't even get into a conversation. God forbid. How about when they found out that you were? Here's what I don't get. They found out your views on religion, or like you said, gay, religion, vaccination, no vaccination, whatever it was.
Yeah.
You kind of understand on religion, whatever. What you were trying to say is when you were with people, if they were your friends for a long time, you kind of know where they're at before anything ever came out for political reasons or
Right.
anything. You knew where they stood. But all of a sudden now you get defriended people. Oh my God, you're don't if you like Donald Trump or if you like Joe Biden, oh, I can't talk to you no more. I defriend you. You can't do. I mean, what is happening with this world? And Anthony, I'm 60. I just turned 60. You're obviously a lot younger, but I'm trying to say what is going on. I mean, is it just because of Donald Trump? Now, someone like Patrick Haig just said it started with Ronald Reagan back in that term because who thought
Fair.
he would be a Hollywood actor, become president of the United States, and he was a great president. I thought he had
Yeah.
balls. I thought he had balls for what he did.
Yeah.
But what do you think? You worked out there. I mean, between One American News, Newsmax, I love all that kind of stuff. Tell me the
Yeah.
difference between the two. What do you think?
Well, I think they're independent news networks that aren't funded necessarily by big corporations. You look at Fox News, it's owned by Disney.
Yeah.
You look at CNN, they're owned by, they have Hollywood in their pockets. So, and that's, I love when people are like, oh, stop watching Fox News because they think because I'm a conservative, I watch Fox News.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't watch Fox News. Like, you just stop putting people in boxes. Or like if someone's liberal, I'm not like, stop watching CNN. I don't know what they watch. I would hope that they would do their own independent research.
Sure.
So Newsmax OAN. Now, look, I don't work for them, but I have done a lot of independent journalist stuff work for them. So, I covered Hurricane Ian. We did a lot of relief effort down here in Southwest Florida with Ian. So I was able to spread that message through Newsmax and OAN. And I'm a huge advocate for protecting the innocence of children. So I'm part of a big organization that's called Gays Against Groomers. It's a nonprofit organization. It's ran by the LGBT community that is against brainwashing and sexualizing children, meaning books in schools that are inappropriate that they're trying to pass, talking to children about gender reassignment surgery as young as the age of 8 years old.
That's insane.
It's insane. Now, we feel that our community, and Chicago is one of the biggest gay communities in the country. Lakeview, it's a beautiful neighborhood. The gay community has gentrified it. They've made it great over the last 20 years.
Sure.
Wrigleyville, lots of money, but our community has been hijacked, Tony. Just like the Black Lives Matter movement has been hijacked by far left extreme or people that specifically want you to believe that we're all under this umbrella of extremism, and that's just not the case.
No, they take it to the point. I understand they take it, but they take it too far. Way too far.
And
it's a small group. It's a small group.
It is. It's 1%.
1%.
It's 1%. And that's what's so funny about it. And here's what the thing is people, meaning the American people, say they support me because I'm LGBT, right? It's 2023. Everybody in their family at this point has at least one person that they know is openly gay, right? Nobody cares that they are. No, we've passed that point. But see, people think that by them supporting all of the extreme ideology, they're also supporting that community because they don't want to feel like they're disenfranchising them, or they don't want to feel like they're not supporting them. So when they say, well, of course I support that. I want to support that. And you're like, yeah, but do you really know what's going on when you support certain things?
Yeah.
And people don't. I've read the books that they're putting in schools.
Sure.
I've seen it. They're teaching kindergarten to 4th grade how to give oral sex to the same sex. That is inappropriate. And look, I say this all the time. I know my father's watching. I'm 38 years old. Till this day, if I was watching TV and my dad was sitting next to me and a sex scene came on TV, I would be like, I would be embarrassed.
I'm the same way. When something comes on TV and my kids are not, I feel like, well,
yeah, you're like, right. Well, now we're openly just giving them books and showing them how to do it at 4 years, 5, 6 years old. Kids are transitioning and taking puberty blockers before they even are able to have puberty.
Yeah.
Like, it's detrimental. It's detrimental to mental health. It's detrimental to the body. A lot of people don't know that when you transition at a young age, you mess up your kidneys, you mess up your liver, you can die. It shortens your lifespan, and you can actually die by the age of 50 years old if you don't transition properly.
I did not know that. See, there you go. So some people, yeah. And it's like, wow. And look, talk about what you're doing. Tell me about this Turning Point USA ambassador. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
About that. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so Turning Point is an organization that's ran by Charlie Kirk, Candace Owens. A lot of people know both of those public figures. It's an organization that elevates the voices of college students all over the country. So what we do is we go to college campuses and talk to a more independent or conservative voice. And we talk to them about how they can get into the political world after college, how they can be a TV personality if they wanted to, whatever it is that they strive for later in life. We try to bring it to the college campus, and we try to make them understand how to cope with the fact that nowadays, if you say you're conservative,
yeah,
sometimes they'll threaten to beat you up and kill you.
Right.
It's like worse to come out as a conservative than it is to come out as a gay or transparent. It's like crazy. I don't understand. How did we get here, Tone?
I don't know. And you know what? We were talking earlier before we went on about the mayor of Chicago. And we were talking that only 30% of people actually voted in this election. I don't understand it. Even in Wisconsin, for the very first time, 1.9 million people voted early by mail. Janet Poprowski, whatever she won, Supreme Court, whatever, NBC. First liberal. The first liberal
Supreme Court.
How about it? The first liberal the first time in 15 years.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of factors in that. So I've been now in Southwest Florida for almost 3 years.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm also a refugee of Illinois.
Okay.
Right. We ran during the pandemic. But, we started, once I started getting involved in Florida politics, we started to see that, just in the last voting cycle, when we revoted for Governor DeSantis,
yes,
450,000 brand new Republican voters were registered in Lee County alone. Okay, or in Florida alone. So that means a lot of people from New York, Chicago, California were moving to our states, right? So I think a factor could be maybe the Republican voter is not as strong as it used to be in some of those counties.
Yes.
A lot of it is population density. A lot of people live in Chicago, which is why Chicago is blue, which by population makes the entire state blue. And I think a lot of people don't have I think voter integrity has gone down. I think a lot of people don't believe in our voting systems anymore. Guaranteed. And for that reason, they're like, what does it matter? I'm not going to vote anyways.
True. And then you make a good point there with these mail-in votes. I mean, in your opinion, Anthony, speaking for the younger generation that you are, your opinion, was that election rigged?
100%. 100%. This is my opinion. I am not saying it's fact.
Yeah.
But Tony, you cannot tell me that I have never, now you're talking about the Chicago election?
Or the presidential election with Donald Trump against Joe Biden.
You can't tell me that a man from his basement was able to successfully get more votes than Obama, one of the most influential presidents in our history. Yeah. He got more votes than that guy.
Obama had 38,000, whatever it was, and Biden got 80,000 votes.
You can't. I mean, and this is why. I'm not trying to. I don't want to be divisive or tell
Sure.
people.
Me either. Right. Me either.
But
Right.
this is what happened. This is why people went on J6. They went to the Capitol because they were upset with what they thought was a fraudulent voting system. Okay, and as we the people in our Constitution, that building on J6, all of that government building, that's our building. It's not Joe Biden's building. No. It's not the politicians' building. They work for us. So right. When people went there because they were upset, did it go too far? Probably. Do I think people incited violence on purpose to make it look bad? I also believe that happened too.
Absolutely. We were just talking about Tucker Carlson releasing the video of that, and then he gets chastised for doing that because right. He's releasing out the truth. And now people are saying that the video live footage is doctored, and it could. I mean, come on! They even let the guy out of jail. That Jacob guy, they let him out of jail. What does that tell you?
Right.
What does that tell you?
And so, if you're going to arrest a certain, this is political prosecution. They do it in communist countries. They do it in socialist countries. We've seen it done in Cuba, in Venezuela. We've seen it done in, Guatemala, like all of these countries where you go against the government, they imprison you. That is not a good sign for our country. That is not good for any of us. Speaking from somebody who goes to college campuses, insurrection style things happen all the time on college campuses. And as just the other day, just yesterday, they're talking about it now. There's a woman who spoke out against men being in women's sports, and trans activists spit at her, threw things at her, and threatened to kill her. That is an insurrection as well. So if we want to play fair, they have to be arrested too.
Absolutely.
But because our administration that's in there right now, like Jean-Claude Gaultier, whatever her name is.
Yeah.
She can't stand her. She stood up there yesterday and she says, we give the power to trans activists to do whatever they need to do for their voices being heard. You just incited violence. You literally did what you're claiming Donald Trump did to his supporters, but it wasn't okay for him, but it's okay for you.
Absolutely.
Try to make me vote for Biden, please, because it's not going to happen. I'm sorry.
47 years he's been in
and did nothing. Never accepted gay marriage, never wanted to. One of the most racist men ever to hold a presidential, the president's office. Okay.
Remember, even Kamala Harris, the vice president, said he was racist before they actually became the vice president.
100%. Well, to be fair, it takes a racist to know a racist. She's one of the most racist women that's in office as well. They literally backed the crime bill in New York, the 1994 crime bill that put more African-American men in prison than ever before in our history. Okay. That is the same man that you're telling me is now not racist.
Yes.
Okay.
Just like
and
that.
All of a sudden stands for black people. Well, guess what? If you don't vote for Joe Biden, you're not black enough. He said that.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Watching Ocean Spit. Ocean Spit, little show about big things. Danny Raimondi is our guest, folks. Great stuff.
Anthony Raimondi. Anthony,
I keep with your dad. I'm so confused. Anyway, let's get a quick more sponsor. Garelli Pavement Service is here to help you with all your paving needs. They have over 30 years of experience in paving industry. Garelli knows the curb appeal your home and business, largely affected by the concrete and asphalt. Garelli is here to help you. Asphalt looking brand new with proper maintenance, which includes seal coating, crack, filling, or patching. We also do complete asphalt replacing for residential and commercial lots. Call Barbara and Laura for any of your needs. They service Illinois, Wisconsin, and Indiana. Call Garelli at 815-271-5835. That's 815-271-5835. Anthony, tell me about one of the biggest scandals ever, the Epstein Island. Epstein is arrested. Supposedly he kills himself in jail. We know that ain't truth. His secretary gets arrested. She's got videos, she's got footage, she's got everything. Not one person has been named in that. Not one person. They didn't even throw one person to the dogs because they figure that guy is going to Mel Gibson 20 years ago said this. 20 years ago he said it about this, what's going on in Hollywood. What is your point? What is your feeling about that?
So I have a lot of friends that now, since I've been in this scene, a lot of them are leaving Hollywood. They're ex-Hollywood comedians and music talent and stuff like that. They literally have been their goal is to try to expose this as well. It's all going to come out. But what I will say is, I will remember, not to bring up Donald Trump again, but sorry, I have to bust the narrative that people always have. They're like, oh, well, there was a list that came out and they said that Donald Trump was on it. If anybody knows anything about the elite scene, whether it's West Palm Beach or LA or Hollywood, whatever, when somebody knew, which Epstein was somebody, it was new money that had come into the scene, and he had started inviting people to this island, right? He joined West Palm Beach's elite club, which Donald Trump was a part of.
Sure.
When Donald Trump was invited to Epstein Island, naturally, he was like, I don't know anything about this guy. I would love to go. I have no idea what this is. He went. Donald Trump publicly said, and they keep on erasing this voice footage or this record that he said it. He said, when I found out what was happening there, I immediately defriended him. I said I didn't want to have anything to do with this Epstein guy and these parties, whatever. I think that more people than you know in this current administration in Hollywood right now are on that list. You can't tell me that Hunter Biden and Joe Biden are not on that list.
Absolutely.
They 100% are. And the fact that we're worried about some porn star that Trump gave money to, which she should have shut her freaking mouth anyways in the first place. But nobody cared about Bill Clinton, though. Nobody cared about that.
$84,000 of Paula Jones. Nobody said nothing about
$840,000, I believe.
There you go. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not only that, Hillary Clinton, you want to talk about the woman that wants to break the glass ceilings? She bullied, harassed, and gave death threats to Monica Lewinsky, Paula Jones, all of them. Okay. She was the worst to the women, and nobody cares about that. But we want to talk about this whole thing with Donald Trump and the porn star, while Hunter Biden is selling paintings for millions of dollars after he literally has videos of him with 16-year-old girls having sex on video on his laptop, giving money to foreign adversaries while in text messages saying this portion goes to my father, this portion goes to this, and y'all are worried about Donald Trump and some porn star?
Let me tell you something. That's why the 300, was it 300, 3,000 or 30,000, whatever, emails deleted from Hillary's laptop. Hunter's laptop, we're never going to find Hunter's laptop. No. Where is that laptop? We're never going to find that. That's what I don't understand, why people, be fair, if you're going to destroy one, you have to destroy the other two. I think that's more people more pissed off at that more than anything else. That's
100%.
That's why I say, like Jeb Bush now defending now Trump. Former Vice President Michael Pence now coming to saying it's a witch hunt. They're not after they're after the man, they're not after the crime.
100%. And this goes back to what you said. Do you think that that it was a fraudulent election?
Yeah.
Yes. Here's why. No other person ever running for office has had the support, continuous support, and ongoing support like Donald J. Trump. That man at Mar-a-Lago the other day had thousands of people waiting for him to leave his place, holding up his signs. Not a single person. Look, I haven't seen not one Joe Biden piece of merchandise. And if I do, I'm like, what is this? He has the most merch, TV. I mean, the guy, the support, you can't tell me that all the support that this guy has, that you're going to convince me that Joe Biden was it. There's no way, Tone. There's no way.
When Alvin Bragg actually put the indictment on Donald Trump, Donald Trump got like $10 million for his campaign. Not even by the big shots, just regular, just like that. Like, I don't know, for less than 4 hours or something.
Yeah.
I mean, what does that tell you? And it's just what I'm saying. It's a witch hunt, and that's why people are saying it can happen to anybody. Any of these politicians now, it can happen to them too. If
Yeah.
they're on the wrong side, it can happen to them too.
And I want people to know too. They're like, how can this guy's a gay guy. Trump doesn't like you. I hear it all. I get it all the time. He doesn't like you, bro. Republicans don't like you. All that. Okay. I was invited to Mar-a-Lago by Donald Trump and his team as a social media content creator to join them in Log Cabin Republicans. At Mar-a-Lago, he had over 600 gay and lesbian men and women in one room, having dinner with us, talking, dancing the night away, treated us like kings and queens. Okay. And the work that he's doing continuously, not only in the United States, but overseas in third world countries, Donald Trump is funding a global effort to decriminalize homosexuality in places like Syria, Pakistan, Afghanistan, anywhere in the Middle East that you can think of, because people are literally being stoned and thrown off of buildings just for being gay. And Donald Trump is literally funding a mission to stop that. But you'll never hear that because they're worried about Joe Biden having a pride flag in the White House. Like, this is our priorities. Meanwhile, if that comes here because of illegal immigration, which 83 different countries come in through our southern border every day. Every day, people from those Middle East countries that usually stone women, stone gay men and women, throw them off of buildings and behead them, they're here already. And if you're scared about what people are doing to gay people, guess what? You will find out what's going to happen, because we will be stoned. We will be thrown off of buildings. We will be heading, if we don't secure our border, if we don't do things overseas like Donald J. Trump is doing. And that's it, period.
Yeah, it's just crazy with the whole thing with that. And I mean, look, like Disneyland, for instance.
Right.
Now, I mean, if they didn't have Star Wars over there, or they have Marvel, I mean, I haven't been to Disney in a long time. What do you think of Governor DeSantis as a governor of Florida? What do you think, Dave?
Look, I absolutely love Governor DeSantis. I really wish this feud between him and Donald Trump would not continue. But it
looks like he kind of backed him a little bit too on this indictment.
He did. And all politicians you have to keep your eye on, but Governor DeSantis, I've met him. I've met his team. I know, I've been to his press conferences. I know what he did for Florida through the hurricane. What he wants is, especially when it comes to Disney and Florida, Disney has done nothing but rape Florida in money. Okay. Florida houses it. They get the tourists to come there, and Disney rakes in the money while Florida doesn't get anything. Well, it's a business, right? So why shouldn't they pay their fair tax to the state of Florida, like all other businesses and corporations that do business in the state of Florida?
Doesn't make any sense to me. Why not? Why?
No, right. So that was what he tried to do. That is what he wants to do, and that's what he's implementing, and I think it's great.
And he's going to run for what you think he's going to run for president?
I think so. I think there's definitely talks that he is, but see, things change by the day. So I still think that this Trump and DeSantis feud is made up. I think that they're doing it for a reason.
Purpose. I was saying the exact same thing. I think that this is letting everybody think that, and then when it's time, boom, pow, right in your face. Then you get 4 years of Trump and 8 years of DeSantis.
That's what I think too. Well,
that's what I think too. And I think there's a lot of people that believe that. A lot of people are afraid to say it, but at least you can have a conversation with people. Like, there's people I've been friends with that just don't want to talk to me no more because for what we're saying.
That's fine. Let them not talk to you anymore.
You know what I mean, man? If me and you can't have a conversation, like if you have a Lincoln and I got a Caddy, My caddy's better than your weekend. We're never going to talk to each other again.
Right. That's their logic.
Anthony Raimondi, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, Anthony, tell me about, congratulations, one of the top 25 outspoken gay social media influencers. That has got to be fantastic. Let me
Yeah.
ask you something. What was it that triggered you to say this? And you're going to go on your own and say, I'm going to talk what I believe in. And the people that are with you, are they following you the same way?
Yeah, they are. It's all the things that we talked about, man. It's because I opened my eyes and I started to do my own research, and you know, this is when you just said like people don't want to talk to you because of what you're doing, what you say. In my mind, that's great for me because the trash always takes itself out. So if these people can just fuck off, that's great. I'm totally cool with it. But I'm going to keep on doing what I'm doing because see, the people that always want to talk for black people are usually the white people. The people that want to talk for gay people are usually the straight people. So what they can all do is shut the fuck up, pay your bills, open your eyes, and really see what's going. Because look at what happened in Chicago. You guys hated Lori Lightfoot, but you guys got somebody that's worse than Lori Lightfoot. And wait, he's friends with Lori Lightfoot, so he's going to still implement all the shit that Lori Lightfoot did, and he's friends with Fox. So this is a mess. The once beautiful city of Chicago is no more.
300 people a day were leaving the state of Illinois prior to the pandemics and the looting and everything like that. Before that,
I know. And what I just saw now after this, I was seeing my Facebook people on Facebook. They're like, well, this is it. This was the last for me. This is it. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. And look, that's bad for you guys. That's bad for the people that are going to stay in Chicago. That's your business. That's your livelihood. That's people are pulling off. Look, big businesses are pulling off of the Mag Mile because they don't want to deal with the crime.
Michigan Avenue is like a ghost town now.
This guy hates cops more than Lori Lightfoot did, and I didn't even know that was possible. But guess what DeSantis did? DeSantis says, that's okay. Why don't you come to Florida? We'll give you a $5,000 sign-on bonus.
$5,000 to leave. Yeah. And everybody, come by us. We'll give you $5,000 to leave Illinois and come.
And they are.
Florida.
And for all of my Chicago family and friends and whatever, your viewers, they're like, oh my God, but Florida's so expensive. Guys, it's expensive everywhere. Yes. The tax hike in Illinois is ridiculous.
Absolutely.
The housing costs nationwide, no matter where you live, is ridiculous. It's all about location, where you're looking. Don't tell me Florida's expensive. It's expensive every single place. It's what's best for you. It's what's safest for your family. And if you don't want your kids to learn some bullshit in school, then you need to move them or you need to pull them out of school and homeschool.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you.
I'm sorry. I was swearing. Am I not allowed to swear?
No, that's okay. Good swear. Oh. What about the news yesterday? Robert Kennedy Jr. might run against Joe Biden with that. That should be interesting. What do you think about that? I mean, that family's been cursed for many, many years.
I know. I don't want to say that I'm a big conspiracy theorist, but there's some conspiracy theorists that talked about the Kennedys coming in hot. And I was like, no. And boom, it happened. So I'm like, man, every time I was like, no, that conspiracy can't be true. It happens. You know, I always say that if I were around, because the Kennedys were, see, the parties flipped. I believe that the Democrat Party flipped and the Republicans flipped because I would have voted for John F. Kennedy and he was a Democrat.
Sure.
Now, I feel like people are going to hate me for saying this. Okay. I feel like Donald Trump was the Kennedy of our time.
Oh, makes complete sense. I totally agree with you. And a lot of people do. A lot of people don't want to admit it. Anthony, let's go to another topic. 2020 March. You hear the news about COVID-19. What was the first thought that you thought about? First of all, your health, your family, your business. What's the first thing that ran through your head?
I was like, what is going on? We were actually we were on a trip in Barcelona when they shut the border down, and we had to rush back here. At first, yeah, of course, we were a little scared, but that's when you're kind of like your instincts go into like your primal mode. Like you're in like, okay, let me see my surroundings, what's going on here. I think once we started to notice the inconsistencies in things that were said or things that were being done out in public, like when we finally were able to go to the grocery store, and and I was like, "Look, this doesn't really make sense." And look, I'm not against vaccines. I was raised, I used to not be against vaccines.
Yeah.
Let me rephrase that.
Yeah.
I grew up taking vaccines, obviously, for school and all the stuff, right? I was all for this vaccine because I said, well, if this comes out, then this ends it. Like, then we're back to normal. But when I started to notice that it wasn't ever going to get back to normal, that's when I started questioning it. And I think that the vaccine was sold poorly by our government, because when you start making people do something, and when you have a disgusting pig of a governor on national TV eating cheeseburgers and stuffing his fat, ugly face with French fries, telling people that he's going to give them a free meal. This is New York, by the way, giving them a free meal if they go and take a vaccine. I started questioning in my mind, this shit can't be real.
Here's another thing. Being in Florida, Florida was completely open. Illinois was closed. Same amount of deaths.
Yes.
In Florida and Illinois.
Not to mention, you have to take this same amount of deaths, but Florida is the elder capital of the United States. Yeah. We have the most elderly people per capita. Yeah. So what was happening, I have personal friends that work in facilities. They were like, you don't understand. These people were dying, or they were already going to die, whether it be dementia or cancer, and they were automatically putting down COVID-19. So whether they died of COVID or not, they were making the nurses put on the sheet COVID. Cause of death COVID. Yeah. And so ethically, they were like, I can't do this no more. And so I believe now, Tony, what you have is all of the first, and I back our blue, I back our first responders, I back our firefighters, I back our healthcare system. I do.
God bless. Yeah.
God bless. And our military. But what I think happened is a big percentage of who's employed in those positions, depending on state, I think they wanted to get rid of the people that wouldn't comply, because everybody that is now still in position that took the vaccine, complied, ended up listening to the government, those are the people that are running it now. So when you go to the doctor, that was the lady that said that she backs the vaccine and she backs Joe Biden. Yeah. Everybody else that doesn't back him, they all quit or got fired. Yeah. So they're not there no more. Now they need them back. So they started saying, oh, we need you, come back. Yeah.
And we're going to pay you your money for all the money you lost. We're going to pay you. Unbelievable. Yeah. Anthony, now let's get to your real fast on your comedy. You love doing comedy. Yeah. Is there somebody that you really get into right now who's very funny? Who you think the funny guy right now?
So
or woman.
Yes, I was just, I don't know if anybody knows who Jim Brewer is.
Sure.
Okay, so I was just on his podcast that just launched today. I've been able to talk to him, and I love the fact that he was able to break out of that Hollywood thing, and he woke up too. So a lot of his comedy is political based, conservative, has a lot to do with people being duped about the vaccines. Yeah. I'm a political, the way that I do my videos, if you don't follow me, you can follow. I do a lot of different skits, and I bring you the factual information in my way, which is typically dramatic or funny or whatever. I did do my first host spot at Off the Hook Comedy Club in Naples. That was super fun. A lot of comedians want me to go and on stage and do all the thing. I would rather probably do more skits, like Saturday Night Live stuff.
Yeah.
But so political comedian is a lot of what my videos are if you watch them.
Yeah, I did watch a couple of them, and and you come up with some great ideas that you do, and you're original, which is very, very cool. It's hard to have someone takes original stuff. But look, if you look at the political comics right now, I don't know if you ever do. I'm sure you heard of Lewis Black.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, another guy, but then what do you think of the new comics now? Just comics in general. Who do you like? Anybody out there that touches you like, wow, this guy's unique. This guy's funny. I mean, Kevin Hart is a copy of.
I was gonna say Kevin Hart is good. Dave Chappelle is still good.
Chappelle, I mean, my God, I mean, what a genius he is. And they all took from Red Fox, Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy, Chris Rock. It's almost the same guy every 10 years. or
Yeah.
15 years, right? It's the
Yeah.
same guy.
Well, and of course, like when you think back to like Eddie Murphy's original comedy, any of those guys, like that was what comedy was. Chris Farley was one of my favorite
Very good.
comedians.
What about the great Lisa? Whatever happened to Lisa Lampanelli?
Oh my God! Lisa was my favorite.
I used to watch her and laugh my ass. She was worse than Don Rickles. She was worse than Don Rickles ever were.
Oh yeah,
I loved her, man.
I went to see her. She's so nasty. I love it.
Yeah, she is. Too.
I love that kind of comedy.
So then, what do you think of? Let's go on the other end now. What do you think of Andrew Dice Clay?
I actually like Andrew Dice Clay.
Me too.
I think he's funny. I always thought he was funny. I like Andrew Dice Clay.
A lot of people say that he went to across the line on certain things when it came with gays, when it came with women. I think a lot of people played it safe. I think a lot of people play it safe, and he went over the line. He pissed off all his sponsors. That's why he lost everything. But he's still the only comedian to sell out Madison Square Garden.
I know. I follow him still. I don't mind when people go. See, that's the problem. See, that's what comedy is supposed to be. If you touch race or sexual orientation, whatever, like that's relatable. That's the shit that we think. I don't know. I never get offended when people do comedy about gay people. I think it's funny.
Especially if you're a comedian.
That's the thing.
Comedian, it's a different story. You're gonna go in, this is what you're gonna get. If you see his name up in lights, don't go there and bitch about it. You know what you're going to get going in. Like Dave Chappelle, he's a genius, that stuff that he came up with.
Really, he is.
A long time ago. He's been around a long time.
Well, it was funny because, and I know we're almost out of time, but when he was on Saturday Night Live, the stuff that he said, just about Trump, like he was just like, he's like, Trump is the first guy that we had that he was like, hell yeah, I took advantage of the tax system. So did this person. He's like, God damn, this guy was, like he's just real. Like he says the stuff that we all think. And I think that you're right. If you don't like the comedy, then don't go.
Absolutely. And what I'm saying, no, which gets me, Anthony, what can you say to the message of the younger kids right now in this world? What's going on? What can you say to these guys, 8, 9, 10, 12, 15 years old that are just getting into they're doomed if it keeps up. If everything goes, they're in a lot of trouble.
Well, I know that every generation says this about the next generation, but I honestly think that Gen Z is probably the worst generation that we've seen yet. And that's strictly due to our education system and what they've literally been implementing for the past 20 years, because it started a little bit, because I'm 38. So it started a little bit when I was like leaving school.
Yeah.
All I can say to everybody is do not listen to the herd of people that want you to be mad about something. Really understand what it is that they're talking about. Make your own educated decision, and then pick apart what it is that you can truly be mad about. Don't just because everybody's running. See, I was always a leader. I was never a follower. But because everybody's running this way, don't run with them. Be like, hold on, dude. What's back there? And figure it out, and then act on it. I think that activists on both sides is a good thing. I think any type of debate on both sides is a good thing.
That's fantastic. We need that.
We need that. We want that. Nobody wants everybody to think and agree the same, but you cannot be extreme. You can't be extreme on the right, and you can't be extreme on the left. You have to come to an understanding and be like, you know what? You're an asshole. I don't agree with you, but let's break bread. Like, it's fine. Like, we're gonna get through this.
Let's go to another topic. And again, everybody going with the flow. And I say the only thing that goes with the flow is dead fish. Dead fish is the only thing that goes with flow. Anthony, if they want to see your stuff, where do they go?
So I am on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. You can find me at Conservative Ant. Okay. And I'm on all platforms, and that even if you're on Truth, I know a lot of people have Truth Social, Getter. I do have a Conservative Ant Facebook public figure page you can follow. And any of the links that you need is in my bio on my pages.
Last thing but not least, senators are trying to block TikTok. The United States are trying to get that. What do you think about that?
Yeah, so it's bigger than TikTok. I think TikTok is a very toxic app, but I also think that it's a good app because a lot of people from all over the world politically have been able to understand what's going on around the world.
Sure.
That's why I think they want to ban it, because we've all kind of are starting to wake up and join forces. The bill that they're trying to pass, everybody needs to pay attention to, because this is a distraction, the whole TikTok thing. They actually want access to your entire life. So the bill that would pass would give them access to your cell phone cameras, your text messages, your voice messages, all of your emails, everything on your every. So it's to the point where if you said I hate Joe Biden, I texted you privately, they can red flag it and they can come to your house and arrest
Come
you.
to your house, yeah. It's pretty scary, Anthony. Thank you. Listen, man. Like I said, being different is biggest compliment I've ever got. And you know what? I'm sure it's the same thing with you. You speak from your heart. You believe what you believe in. And being Italian, we can't. We're going to be loud and obnoxious anyway. I mean, that's just the way it is, right? That's just the way it
Right.
is.
Right.
So we got that maybe going for us and against us all at the same time.
So true.
But Anthony, you keep doing what you're doing, man. I'm proud
Thank
of
you,
what you
Tony.
do, man. God bless you, man. Just keep spreading the word. That's all we got,
Thanks.
man. If we don't do that, we're in a lot of trouble, man.
We are.
We really are. So thank you, my buddy. Anthony Ramonde, you have a great day, buddy. Happy
You
Easter.
too.
God
Thank
bless
you.
you, buddy. See you soon.
God bless. Happy Easter.
Anthony
Bye.
Ramonde, everybody. This is Ocean's Pit, a little show about big things. We got a couple birthdays to shoot out there real fast. Let's say happy birthday to Mix Master Mike from the Beastie Boys. Celebrates a birthday. Max Gale, of course. Remember him from Barney Miller, turns 80 years old today. Frank Gorshin, famously known as the Riddler, the original Riddler in Batman, celebrates a birthday. For all you wrestling fans, Sika, one of the Samoans, of course, related to The Rock and Roman Reigns, 78 years old today. I want to say happy 18th birthday to Jackie and Raffaello's daughter, Giovanna, 18 years old from Ace Hardware. Happy birthday, Giovanna. My good friend Leah, my God, the gospel soul queen. She's fantastic. We had her on the show. Happy birthday, Leah, out there. We want to say congratulations. Oh, Carol Manati's son, Danny, turns 40 years old. Danny Jr. Manati, happy birthday, Danny. You got to love it, man. Unbelievable. My good buddy Kevin Burke's daughter, Natalie, turns 18 years old today. Spencer Tracy, they don't make him like that anymore, the great actor, and one of my favorite actors of all time, the great James Garner, Maverick, Rockford. He's fantastic, the great James Garner. Ocean's Pit. Now, folks, next week, we got big thing coming up. Next week, folks, let's not forget, Wednesday, we're going to be at the Tap House Grill. That's 1243 State Street in Lamont, Illinois, for the Ruby Whiskers Animal Rescue. It's going to be a great concert. Yours truly, Tony Toto, the incomparable Regina Karma. $10 at the door. All the money goes to Ruby Whiskers Animal Rescue. There's going to be a silent auction. Dan Nozag and his crew, they do an incredible job. Ruby Whiskers Foundation. And let's not forget another organization I'm so proud of. That's almosthomefoundation.org for dogs. I volunteer every Tuesday. They need supplies. They need funding. They need volunteers. Go to almosthomefoundation.org. Give. Tell them Ocean's Pit. It's exciting. And then next week, folks, we're going to Minnesota. Ocean's Rat Pack will be next Thursday. That's going to be the 13th of April. We'll be at the Minnesota Horse and Hunt Club, 2920 20th Street East, Prior Lake, Minnesota. Tickets, 952-447-2272. 7:30 is the showtime, or go right to www.bigevents.com and get your tickets and join us in Minnesota, folks. Don't forget, St. Jude's benefit at the Arcada Theater, April 23rd. Nick Hodges, Phyllis Hodges, little bit country, little bit rock and roll, oshows.com. It's going to be great. And Ocean's Rat Pack going to be at the Des Plaines Theater, April 30th. Special guest opening the show is the great Jack D'Amico. Also joining us is Vince Amore as Tony Bennett. Also, speaking of that four, Bill Saratella as Frank, yours truly as Dean, Elliot Winbush as Sammy, Tony Bennett, Vince Amore as Tony Bennett. We're going to be at the Forget About It Vineyard Winery in Galena, Illinois, August 20th. A lot more stuff, folks. And let's not forget, last but not least, our sponsors, our good buddies from Patriot Funding Incorporated. Mr. A, I hope you're having a safe trip over there in Florida. Enjoy out there. But Patriot Funding Incorporated, folks, when timing is everything, commercial money lending at its finest, you got to go with Patriot Funding, man. Dave Antonelli now offering 100% purchase, 100% rehab, 100% financing, super fast approval funding, no tax return, no repay penalty, no upfront fee, no survey. Patriot Funding, 630-675-4730. Folks, more stuff. We're going to be back on Monday. Let's not forget Armando Supermarkets, Danny Mazzi, folks. Let's not forget Danny. So many Dannys and Anthonys on the show. Danny Mazzi, folks. Armando's Supermarkets, folks, in Elgin, Illinois. It's going to be great. Check it out. 925 Liberty Street in Elgin. How about Mikey and Gigi from Crash Champions Collision Auto Repair? For all your collision auto repair needs, go to crashchampions.com. And last but not least, let's not forget our good buddies from the great Ace Hardware, everybody. That's right, Ace Hardware, man, helping neighbors before they were neighborhoods. Ace Points, they do so much stuff. Truck repair, handyman service, window and screen repair. They're the best. And right now, spring is in the air, folks. You're going to need a new grill. You go to Norwich, Des Plaines, Evergreen Park, and Warrenville and say, hey, I want to grill my ace off. Grill my ace off, ladies and gentlemen. Get $20 off any grill purchase at Ace Hardware, Norwich, Des Plaines, Evergreen Park, or Warrenville. Tonight, we'll be at Chicago Prime Steakhouse with the return of Rhino Ryan, 8 o'clock. Tomorrow will be at Champions Sports Bar in Plainfield, 8 o'clock with Rhino Ryan. And don't forget, folks, we're giving you more information about the wonders of the sea. Chicago Music Scene Cruise, January 7th to January 14th, 7 days, Seventh Heaven, Mojo's Jukebox, Tony Ocean Show. It's going to be fun. We're going to give you all great deals to join us on this beautiful cruise ship. It's four football fields long. 4 football fields long. The Wonders of the Sea, Royal Caribbean, Seventh Heaven, Tony O, Mojo's Jukebox, and a whole lot more. Coming up, more information. Private message me if you're interested in joining us on the cruise, January 7th, January 24th, 2024. Thank you, my good buddy, Danny Ramundi. Happy Passover, everybody. Happy Easter to you and your families. Buy local, shop local. Remember, support local establishments, support live entertainment. The great words of Ringo Starr, peace and love. We need it more than ever in this world, man. God bless you all. Have a great weekend. Have it safe. And Nick Sahajas, the piano man, take us out.
Time to go, it's the end of the show. See you later from Tony O.
Peace, baby. God bless.